Welcome back, guys, to our playthrough of Pokemon SoulSilver. In the last episode, I showed you how you can get all 3 Kanto starters, Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle, respectively, using an action replay code to reset the encounter with Professor Oak and his research lab down there in Pallet. Now, we can use a different code to trigger a similar event with Steven Stone and Silphco, so we're going to do that to get all 3 Hoenn starters, Torchic, Trico, and Mudkip, respectively. Now, just as sort of a refresher, make sure that you have some open slots on your team, so that way you can take the Pokemon that he gives you. And just like before, you can do this to get unlimited Hoenn starters, so you can get an army of Torchic, Trico, whatever makes sense for you, or if you just want to get after all 3, you can certainly do that. Now, the action replay code needed to be entered into your emulator or into your action replay device can be found down in the description box, so be sure to take a look at that. And then to activate the code, you just press Start and Select. Okay, I have a particular way that I do things, but let's go ahead and just kind of review what we'll need to do here just to make sure it's clear. So what I like to do is I'll go into Silphco after I have defeated Red, right? Because that's when Steven Stone is available. Now, just like before I mentioned this, the starters are available only after you defeat Red. I have not tested whether or not you can trigger these events before defeating Red. After you defeat Red, you can meet Oak in Pallet, and then he'll give you one of the starters. You can enter the code there and get as many of whatever starter that you want. And then you can also do the same thing here. After you defeat Red, you come to Silphco. Steven Stone is over at the counter reception desk or whatever. You'll talk to him, he'll give you a starter, and then you can punch in the code, and then you can, you know, talk to him a whole bunch of times. You could totally try this before you encounter Red to see if it works for you upon the first time getting to Silph. I don't know, though, so I would be wary of doing that. If you don't want to screw anything up, I would probably just do it as I do it. So I've defeated Red. In the last episode, I got all 3 Kanto starters, and now we're here in Silphco to get all 3 Hoenn starters. Now, I haven't activated the code yet, just because that's just how I am. You can probably do it now if you wanted to. Steven Stone is going to have a unique line of dialogue for you where he's going to ask you whether or not you want one of 3 colored stones, and each of these stones correlates to one of the starters. So like a green would be Trico, red would be Torchic, Mudkip would be blue. Hello, you're breaking up. I think it depends on how my dad feels. I see. I'll be on my way. See you soon. Okay, so he talks to you here. I remember your eyes. When I see a trainer whose eyes twinkle, I always remember. You have a Pokedex, so you're also in search of Pokemon. Let me see. I think I can help you with that. Let's say that you have stones in front of you. Which color would you pick? So you have green, red, and blue. And then if you say quit, he'll just like sit here and wait for you to choose one. But this is where you're basically going to be resetting the encounter. So I'm just going to grab Torchic. I'm going to say green stone. You chose correctly. I will give you a Trico. Okay, so I got green, and that gave me a Trico. Okay, then he's going to leave. Would you like to give a nickname to Trico? No, I'm good. Take good care of it. Your caring for it will make me very happy. Okay, and then he leaves. Now we're going to do the same. If the code is active and you press Start and Select, it doesn't make him automatically appear in front of you. You have to leave the building. Okay, so I'm going to hit Start and Select at the same time, and then I'm going to go back inside the building. Okay, and then Steven Stone is back there chilling. Now he's going to talk to you as if you didn't choose a stone and then you just quit and like left. And he says, I will ask again, which color do you choose? If I chose green stone again, I could get another Trico if I wanted, but I'm going to go ahead and go for a red stone and grab myself a Torchic. Okay, I have 3 open slots on my team, so I could get all 3 of the starters. You can do any combination thereof that makes sense for you to get whatever it is that you want. Okay, says the same line of dialogue as he did when we grabbed the Trico, and then I'm going to leave. And I'm going to press Start and Select again. You have to do it that way. You have to hit Start and Select to reset the encounter each time, because the encounter itself goes back to normal every time you talk to him. So you have to reset it as if it didn't really happen, and that's how you can encounter him multiple times to get all 3 or multiple individual starters. Okay, says the same thing. Okay, I'm going to go blue stone, and I'm going to say Mudkip this time. Sweet. Stupendous. All right. Now, it's not all we have to do with Steven Stone. If you want to build him, he has one as well. I'll be worrying about that later, though. But for now, if you leave, then you can go ahead and just do Start and Select and just rinse and repeat as many times as you want outside the building. And every time you hit Start and Select before you go inside, he will appear at the counter there, and then you can talk to him and get more starters if you would like. Okay, so let's go ahead and review. Got Trico. We're going to go to the summary here, take a look at him. A grass type. Let's see, a lax nature. This would be good if you're trying to get like certain natures and stuff, since this is the only way to get these Pokemon in here outside of like breeding, of course. All right, Torchic is a bold nature. I'm not really like particularly interested in natures because I don't play competitively, but if you do, that might matter to you a lot. And then Mudkip. So we got all 3. Likes to thrash about, is a gentle nature. Cool. Now, just as a reminder, I'm not here to teach you how to enter in codes into your device. I'm not tech support in any way, shape, or form, but if you do have questions, I'll try my best to answer them. But there's too many different variations of emulators that are out there, so there's no way I can just be like, hey, this is how you enter in the action replay codes, because I don't know what emulator you're using. If you are curious about how to enter codes in an emulator, you need to look up that information on your own on the support page for whatever emulator you're using. Usually, though, it is as simple as going to like File or one of the options in the menu bar in the top left there of the window, and then looking for something for like cheats, anything that has cheats in it. And then you'll just go ahead and punch in like the corresponding cheats under the action replay section. Most emulators will give you the option to enter in more than one type of cheat though. So you'll have like Game Shark, action replay. Sometimes it'll be something else as well. So make sure that you're entering the action replay in like the action replay code in the action replay section. I see people messing that up all the time. But like I said, do a little research just to make sure that you're comfortable in how you interact with cheats and whatnot. Definitely do that. I don't recommend trying to engage this encounter before defeating Red, but if you do decide that you want to do it anyway, if you choose not to heed my warning, let me know what you discover on that, because I am very curious on what the result of that is. If you are wondering about an actual physical action replay cart or cartridge itself, again, I don't represent action replay in any way. I'm not support. I'm not getting any sort of like benefits by advertising that to you. It's just a handy device to play the game how you want to play. You can head on over to Amazon. You can find them for relatively cheap. eBay as well. Pretty much anywhere game stuff is sold. It is for like DS era cheats, so keep in mind that you're probably not going to find them at GameStop. You might though. I know GameStop is probably starting to sell some more retro stuff, so you might find an action replay used there with like codes already built into it, maybe. I don't know, but it shouldn't be too hard. Look for action replay, find the cartridge, and then you can punch in the codes from this video in that section. Now, again, I also recommend that if you're going to go ahead and buy an action replay and enter in codes and do all that, do a little research on that yourself too. I can't really help you there. I'm not going to be answering all your action replay questions, so look it up and see what you can find. But the code that I have down in the description box will work for both the action replay for your physical handheld device, and it will work for your emulator as well. So feel free to explore and try that out. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to check out the previous video where I show you how you can get the Kanto starters, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle respectively, using a similar method but a different code and an entire process. Now, Steven Stone, as I mentioned before, we're not done with him yet. If you want to get a Beldum from him, action replay code not required. He goes to Pewter City, actually, excuse me. He goes to Pewter City, he's in the museum, you can talk to him there, and then I think he returns back to Silphco, and then you can engage with him one more time to get a Beldum and trade him a Fortress. So, anyway, I'll worry about that another time, though. But anyway, that is it for this particular episode, trying to keep it short and sweet. If you enjoyed this one, you can show your love by hitting the like button. Do not forget to subscribe, of course. Any feedback for me, leave in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Also, as I mentioned, don't forget to take a look at the description box for the code information, but there's also, in addition to that, some links that might be of interest to you, one of which is a link to the Marcanine community Discord server. If you want to be part of that group, you can chat with me directly. Otherwise, just know that I appreciate you and your time, and I hope to see you when we continue with more of our playthrough of Pokemon SoulSilver. All right, guys, that's it for me. Take care, be well. I'll see you around. Later.